This video is about writing linear equations given slope-intercept and and y-intercept standard form, a graph, a point and slope, and 2 points. This is review from Algebra 1. So when you are given a slope and the y-intercept, the easiest way to write that out is using slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, and b is your y-intercept. Y-intercept can also be written as 0, any y value. Given the slope, you go y equals 1/3 minus 5. So if you wrote a plus and minus 5, you would simplify this down to a single sign. Try not to have a glare there. And so you would go y equals 1/3. I missed my x up there. X minus 5. Done. I'm going to change out to a pen, see if that works better. When you are in standard form and you're going to write the equation of a line, you're going to solve for y. So when you're in standard form, you're going to solve for y. When you are solving for y, single variable, we're going to isolate that y. So 4x minus 2y equals 14. This is a positive 4x, so to move it to the other side, I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. Minus 2y equals, I'm going to keep that 4x in front because in case on the slope-intercept form, x is in front, so I know my slope. Minus 4x plus 14. To get y by itself, I'm multiplying by -2, so I'm going to divide by -2 on every single part. Make sure when you divide by negatives that you switch your signs. Same things divided out, cancel each other out, so I get y equals -4 divided by -2 is 2x. 14 divided by -2 is a -7. There's my equation again. This is solving for a single variable. This allows you to understand the standard that is within the chapter, standard 1, one of the parts. From a graph, any line that crosses the x-axis, or y-axis is a intercept. This has an intercept here. So I could do this 2 ways. Quickest way, since I have a y-intercept, that point is 0, -1. This point over here I will write out here in a second. But we're going to solve this problem 2 different ways. The first way we're going to do it is just using slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Y-intercept is -1, so I'm going to throw that -1 right there. Put my x in, and now I'm going to count my slope. This second point, I need to count my slope on how I get there. So I'm going to go up 2, so my y changes up 2. So plus 2, went up plus 2. Okay, and then I come over here and I went over 5. So my x change is -5. That's one way to count out your slope, or you could take your points. This is -5, 2. I can use the slope formula, y1 or 2 minus the other y over x1 minus x2. As long as those points line up, as in they come from the same values, it's fine. So 2 minus a -1. Trying to count right. Oh, that's a positive 1. My bad. Positive 1. So that should be a positive 1 minus a -1. -5 minus 0 gives me a 1 plus 1, which gives me 2 over -5. This is a negative slope. I went up 2, positive 2, and to the right 5, y's over x's, same as my change here. So I'm going to use 2 over 5 negative y equals. You still got to find your slope either way, but the cool thing about point-slope form is you can pick either point. So if I picked the point of 0, -1, point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I already found my slope. which is 2/5, a negative. And then I'm just going to take this point and I'm going to plug it in. So x minus 0 equals y minus a minus 1 becomes y plus 1, and that equation's done. Or if you wanted to use the other point, you'd have y minus 1 equals negative 2/5 times x minus 5. Minus a minus 5, which gives you a plus 5. If I solved either of these out, I would get back to this equation here if I solve this equation for for y. I apologize. First video in a long, long time. Point slope form. Given a point, given slope. Once again, back up here to the point slope form. I have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. My slope is negative 3. And I'm going to plug in these values. So x, y, they come from my point. So my y is 3, so minus 3, x minus a negative 1. Simplify that out. You get y minus 3 equals negative 3 times x plus 1. If I wanted to, I'm going to solve this for y just to show you how it works out. But to get y by itself and show the slope-intercept form, you would distribute this negative 3. So you would have y minus 3 equals negative 3x, negative 3 times a 1, distribute to both parts, multiply through the parentheses, minus 3. I want to get y by itself, so plus 3, y equals negative 3x, and that would be your equation. This is slope-intercept form. It is just as popular as point-slope form. I will tell you my preference is point-slope form because if you don't have to solve for slope-intercept form, you're already done here with either one of these plugging in your equation. When you're given 2 points, you just need to find the slope between your lines, or excuse me, find the slope of the line between your 2 points, said backwards. So once again, you could do y2 minus y1 or y1 minus y2 as long as your x's correspond. I always take this as my first point. So this is my first point either way, doesn't matter. So I go negative 7, and I plug in my x underneath so I don't mess up, minus from the equation, parenthesis, whatever comes next. And then I have an 8 on the bottom, which is x's minus 13. Simplifying this out, negative 7 plus 13 over negative 4 minus 8. I get negative 7 plus 3, which is 6, over a negative 12. Simplify that fraction out, I get a negative 1/2. So my slope is a negative 1/2. So using point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Either point will get you the same equation, but the slope you want to use is a negative 1/2, so I could have negative 1/2 here. And if I use the first point, the signs inside these are minuses, so it's the opposite of what you see. This becomes a plus 7, because this is y, this is x, plus 4. Or you could have y plus 13 equals negative 1/2 times x minus 8. And that's just your 2 answers with point slope form. So this is more of a quick review, just some examples. This is not the slower pace. This is the quicker pace that if you feel that you know what you're doing, you can just jump right in.